Yo, what's up, traders? Happy Saturday. We are back after a shorter than expected hiatus, but that's the way it goes. So we're back and we're going to look at what's going on here. So thanks for joining us. We've been having a bunch of issues lately, so please remember, if you haven't yet, hit that like button. Very helpful. It means a lot to me, so I appreciate it. So Bitcoin being sus. I just wanted to use the meme really, and I did, so we're good. Not actually being that suspicious. Being a little indecision. Not seeing too much volatility. Looks like we're range bound again. And I figured it's a good time to go back, look at different time frames, see what we're seeing, so we can ignore the emotions and focus on what's there. So on the weekly, not too much. We've been observing the middle Bollinger Band, or the 20 moving average. And so far, so good. Plenty above it. Currently at 10,436. But there's a little bit something interesting here on the weekly that I did not notice. You can see these pink salmon moving averages, and these represent the 10 and the 5 weekly moving average. We can see that this candle is currently above both after spending some time underneath. We had a bearish cross on them September 14th to the 24th or 21st. Saw a little selling, and then with last week's close, rallied back above to open above. Now what's interesting here is that these are very close to crossing again. We can see last time, looking back in July, we had the same setup where we got a bearish cross, happened on the 6th of July, and then crossed back bullish the 20th and resulted in a nice little rally here. So what's eye-catching to me is that we have a similar setup on these moving averages as we did before. And if we look to the left, we see that the 5 and the 10 weekly crossing has been pretty typical of at least rallying or price action to the upside when they happen. Got one back here on the 30th of December, obviously down here in February, March. So something to keep an eye on. The 5 weekly is currently at 10,000 or 11,096, which is interesting because that's right near our 10 or 11,050 support. So further suggesting that is an important support level to hold here. The weekly doesn't have too much else going on with it. But something we should continue to keep an eye on is we see the weekly MACD is still trending towards the positive side, still showing weakness in momentum on the sell side. That is unchanged. Really not too much else there on indicators. No, there's one. We look at the weekly Ichimoku cloud. Anything else? We see that the weekly TK line, the fast reacting line, we're above it, which is great. Typically though, we would expect a back test of it, and we have not gotten it. This candle last week certainly did move above it and then bounce off of it in that time, but we didn't see it tested in a separate candle. We came very close with the low a few days ago at 11,180, 11,190, but not quite to that 11,150 level. So that is an interesting level to keep an eye on. I believe if we add these back, we see that those 5 and 10 weeklies are very close as well to that price action. So considerable level of support there, more so than I would have assumed in the previous days. We take a look at the daily, zooming in, we see that the TK moved up, signifying that the highs in the last 30 time periods have risen, or the difference between the high and the lows, the middle point. Candle's currently above it, but we also see at a similar level to that 11,150, we have a flat topped cloud. Now it is little janky, but it has not been back tested, and typically these do get tested. So that suggests maybe 11,150 is in our future. However, I'm not yet seeing signs of that. So Ichi has been pretty great to us, giving us this signal. It was one day late on the 8th, but gave us the 7th as a target, and we did get a nice little rally through that gap in resistance. So definitely following the daily Ichi as it's given us some nice signals recently. As well on the daily, we have something interesting. Price is rather high above what we see the 50 and the 100 daily moving averages beginning to kiss. I like to call it kissing. They have not yet crossed. However, let's see, I would imagine in one candle, maybe after today's close, at the longest 2 days, so either into Sunday or Monday, we will see them at least touch. Price is far away, and typically I like to say when you see crosses and price isn't close to them, that it tends to not act the way you would expect. Now that cross is happening at 10,800. Probably, I would argue, outside of 10,550, which was a huge price point for us. 10,800 is the one I've been keeping my eye on the most. And the reason is because on the way up, this was a super critical price level where we saw many different indicators suggesting that a break of that level would lead to a rally, which it did. However, we really didn't get a full back test. It does look like on the daily, we had a touch to it the day after breaking. But typically, a back test, you want to see at least price move away and come back. So what I'm getting to here is this 11,150 area. If it does break, this is where I'm going to start looking. Down at this bearish cross that's happening, really in a range. In a range here of, I'd say 11.7. Why is this not a box? The range of 11.7 all the way up to 10.7. And I'm having trouble with 11s and 10s today. 10.7 to about 10.850. Testing this bearish cross in price wouldn't be abnormal for Bitcoin. However, again, I'm not quite seeing that yet. Never know. But this cross is going to be very important to watch. Now, if we get them to touch and price is not starting to move towards them, they may be in the setup that we love seeing, where we get a rejection of a cross, and that would be the 50 crosses, or maybe doesn't even cross but touches the 100, only to move back up and invalidate the cross. That's kind of what we would be looking for. If we look back 50 candles, we can get an idea of this, if that is possible. Right now, it does not look as if the 50 is going to, in the short term, really start pulling up unless price action now starts pulling up. And the reason for that is the 50 is still including these candles. As the 50 progresses, it's going to start dropping them, and I think it's in 3 days. 1, 2, 5. In 5 days, it will lose all of the data from these 5 candles, from 11.3 to 11.9, and then begin its averaging down here at the close of the September 3rd candle. So for me, that suggests that the 50 is actually more likely to tilt down even if price goes up. We would have to see a very volatile move up in order to not see the 50 drop once it loses its candles. It's an interesting setup here. I think that these are going to be major players in the week ahead and possibly even the weeks ahead. So there we are, 50 and 100 on the daily. Let's zoom it into the 12-hour. This 12-hour candle we're currently on perfectly touched Ichimoku's TK line as resistance at 11,422, close enough. So far, rejected or acted as resistance, but not necessarily a rejection yet. We do have 3 hours, 40 minutes to go here. There's plenty of time for this candle to develop into something. It's currently not even bearish engulfed. And what it really looks like to me is symptomatic of that diamond pattern we were looking for earlier, which we'll get to, where categorized honestly just by whipsawing out leveraged positions. You know, high, then we have the low right into a higher high. This wicking event, we had another one. This is really, even if it's not a diamond, it is acting, or at least serving the purpose of a diamond. Not really allowing new margin positions to open and potentially closing over leveraged positions that are open too long here with these quick, but really failing to close significantly candles. Pretty easy to see. This is just the 12-hour. You can see this anywhere. No candle closes above the higher high here on the 12th. No candle closes above the next higher high or lower high on the 15th. No candle closes below 15th. The wicks are making everything kind of look strange, but if you look at the candle closes here, I think I can actually do this. I don't usually do this, but we're just gonna get rid of the wicks. If we look at this is a much different story. We really do see a diamondish pattern, but what we see is lower highs and higher lows. And getting rid of the wicks is actually a really good exercise there. This pattern looks much more simple when you get rid of the wicks. So I'm still keeping an eye, and we will look at the diamond here in a second as we keep zooming in. So the 4-hour is maybe the most interesting, or the 1 hour right now. You can see these wicks, man, it looks like a thorn patch. There is wicks everywhere. I think, I haven't done this on the 4-hour, I did it on the 12. Take them off of the 4-hour, we really see almost the exact same thing as the 12-hour. We see clear candle closes and opens at the same level here at 11,316. And we see that the highs are coming down, and right now very coiled, very coiled up. These candles are not suggesting lots of momentum. But what is interesting here is that we have the 25, I believe, let me double check, the 20 and the 50 here lining up for a bearish cross. Lining up for a bearish cross. We may be seeing some divergence on the stotch. We still have the 4-hour bullish divergence. Despite this sell-off, really nothing has changed. A lot of people, I could feel it yesterday, maybe even the day before. Lots of emotion coming into the picture, but without the price action to justify it. We look at either one of these MACDs. I've had both of them up for a while now because I'm trying to figure out really the difference, and for the most part they seem pretty similar. We have the low touch on this 12th at 11,187. Though we did have what was a pretty spooky candle, very quick, proportionately large to the candles we had seen previously and now actually since. So there was really some reasoning or explanation to the emotion, but without breaking this 11,186, nothing has changed. We look at our indicators, man, we have savage divergence. Savage. We have the lowest swing of the entire movement with the smallest MACD, let's call it impulse to the downside. And then we have what is basically the highest swing low in the formation with the lowest part of the MACD, the lowest swing, the lower low. And then we have here again, lower price action with a softer or less powerful swing on the MACD. Like this is divergence in every direction. And then with the RSI is agreeing, saying every move down is actually a lower low. So basically, things haven't changed. We still have a lot of this bullish divergence on this shorter time frame. And that stays in the picture until we break this low. You can argue, I guess it's, you need to be able to wick or close under 11,187, or you could also take the stance of a candle closing under 11,247, but that hasn't happened. And you can see, man, look at these wicks. Look at all these wicks on the bottom of these candles. This level is absolutely being defended. This is not a level that bulls seem to be willing to give up at the moment. You can count them. There's a ton of them. This is on the 4 hour. It's almost every candle that even approaches the candle close on the 12th is immediately bought up. Immediately. So as long as this is intact, all of those divergences are fine. Likely just made stronger by these swings again on our oscillators, but failing to make a new low. So the 1 hour, I think this is nice. This is where the spice is, and this is why I wanted to get on here this time. 1 hour has just finished in this candle. I believe it was a confirmed bearish cross of the 50 and 200. It's the 1 hour 5200 bearish cross. It is what it is. But what's interesting to me is just how flat this price action has been leading up to it. Unusual. We looked at the longer time frames and price was very far. It has escaped the gravity of those MAs. And now with this cross where we can see the 50 acted as resistance over and over again to buying locally here, see many touches and rejections from it. Yet price really didn't go anywhere. You could argue this is just higher lows. Really anything, but you can see the majority of the candle closes are in the exact same range for the last 2 days. Not super spicy price action, but really I bet we can see it on Bollinger Bands here. We have to be squeezing. Oh yeah, mega squeezed. Mega squeezed. This is actually unusually tight for the Bollinger Bands. I'm going to zoom out, see if I can actually find any examples as I say that, but to me, I do not commonly see this tight price action. And if you look actually at the current bands, they're both tilting in again, suggesting that this price range is actually coiling up even more than it is now, which is crazy to think about. Yeah, you really don't see that. This is a 0.4% from the bottom of the Bollinger Band to the top. That is abnormal. Maybe back here, this might be close. Now, even this one is 0.81. So even this super tight range here is 2 times as large as the current bands are on the 1 hour. This is a super, super tight situation, which almost always leads to volatility. Now we can find example here, the bands are pretty tight. We get the sell-off. Bands are tight here. We had some kind of whipsaw rally. Typically, bands aren't going to tell you up or down, but they really do tend to signal upcoming volatility, and this is as tight as I've ever seen them. I'm sure there's an example where they're tighter on the 1 hour, but that is eye-catching to me. Really want to find one now and prove myself wrong. I'm not going to spend time, but maybe like down here, I don't know. Even this is 0.52, this is 20% larger. This is certainly something to keep an eye on. Certainly something to keep an eye on. Looks like it's suggesting our trading range at the moment is between 11,323 and 11,372. That is ridiculous. That's like the spread on some exchanges is larger than that. I have this note here just as an example of what I was saying on the daily with the flat topped cloud and how they are attractive to price and typically get hit. Here's a perfect example. Just zooming through and I found this on the 1 hour. We can see that wick we had, or that rally that got sold off we had earlier. Look at where this candle went to. That wick is perfectly to the top of this flat cloud. They're super magnetic for price. You don't even need to understand Ichimoku cloud to pick up some kind of signals about price action by looking at them. Look for these flat clouds. This is perfect. Like, and this is a super local example. This is almost to the dollar. Maybe even is to it. Okay, so it touched 11,421 and the top of the cloud is 11,421 19 cents. That shows you just how magnetic Ichimoku clouds can be. That happens very commonly. The thicker and the longer the cloud is, the more magnetic it becomes. I don't know why. You guys were around for the magnet days. A lot of magnets were placed really with Ichimoku clouds heavily considered, and those things hit a very good amount of time. Nice, we already have 100 people watching. Now, I just realized that my little logo thing here is right on top of my face. That's alright, well, we're moving over. We're back to our normal spot. Okay. Yep, dang. Look at that. We even see the hour sold off to it. 27 minutes left, so this could change, but sold off to it and wicked. Like, these bands are just coming in for action. And it's hard to imagine them actually even getting any closer together at this point. Pretty crazy. One more thing I wanted to look... Oh, the diamond. I want to talk about the diamond, then I want to talk about futures, and that's it. So, the diamond, the heavily debated diamond formation that we placed on the 12th. Yes, we have broken out, rallied, sold off, now we're back below. So I've been learning something. I'm always trying to learn every day, guys. I'm not perfect. This is a journey for me. So I love when you guys share your thoughts and things because it helps me pick up on new things and kind of incorporate new stuff into my repertoire. There's something that I've always done is, you guys know I'll use the magnet tool to clip my trend lines to the exact price of candles, whether it's the wicks or the bodies or whatever I'm doing. I just like the precision of it. You don't have to do it. I like the precision of it. So what I always assumed was the smaller the time frame you clipped them to, the more accurate they would be. That was just, just what I decided, I guess, in the beginning. And what I'm seeing here is the difference of how, like, what time frame you place these on using the clipping tool, how the shapes are different. So this red box I initially placed really has not changed. It only changed here when I finally drew the top of this. I placed this initially on the 12th, and obviously, we didn't get what I would have expected out of this. I would have expected it to break to the downside, like a reversal or maybe continuation. Kind of got faking of both. What's interesting here is if you see this white, kind of looks like a kite box around it that's a little sloppier. So what that is instead of what I have been doing, which is go down to the smallest time frame and clip these trend lines to those wicks or whatever, I place this on the daily. Okay, it's connecting the top 2 wicks, the bottom wick, or the bottom 2 wicks. And what's interesting is that this seems to be playing maybe better than the shorter time frame. And I was convinced that the shorter time frame was going to be more accurate because it was you know, I don't know, more detailed, etc. Who knows? But I'm starting to see that there is some kind of relation, or maybe there's a significance to these patterns being charted on longer time frames. Because I wouldn't expect this daily daily diamond to like really be in play at all. I placed it just kind of as an experiment, and it is not doing too bad. You know, like the top wick that was placed there. We see price really respecting this daily line, even though you can see that where this is placed, because it's put on the daily, doesn't actually touch the high here. It doesn't even include the high or the bottom. These are both outside. And it starts these trend lines back here at the beginning of the day on the 20th, because that's how TradingView works. But look at all this price action, man. We have these wicks. This is a little ugly for it, but look at the respect we see here, even on the hourly. There is so much price action. Just dancing with it. Like, wicks off, wicks off, wicks off, wicks off, wicks off, wick, wick, wick. It's strange. It seems as if the daily, like the hourly and the 4 hour don't want to close a candle below. And I've watched this for many candles now where I keep seeing them come very far out. And after about this one, I kind of picked it up. I was like, wait, this seems to really be respecting that daily line. And now every single one I've seen since that has broken down out of here, literally have looked at it and gone, I bet by close it moves back up. And every single one has. It's kind of ridiculous. So I'm not really sure. This is still a new study to me, but I'm seeing at least value or significance of placing these patterns on a higher time frame. And I just wanted to share this with you guys. You know, and we sharing my experience and my journey as a technical analyst, but this took me a long time to really find. Like, I've been clipping them on low time frames for years, and it makes me wonder how many trend lines or how many, you know, different things have I looked at based on these lower time frame trend lines being clipped, when I maybe should have had them on higher time frames. Because this is too much for coincidence. This is not a coincidence. This is like some level of market making is respecting those two lows clipped on the daily, like without a doubt, because that line really doesn't line up with anything. That, like, the low starts here and then clips to here on the daily. So there's no actual price points that are on at least the 4 hour now that are related to this line. Yet all of these candles seem to be very interested in closing up. It would be weird to me to see in 3 hours and 20 minutes this candle not move back up and close above this trend line. And if it does, maybe that suggests we are going to go lower then. So watch out. I think the 4 hour, because you can even see it on the 1 hour. They seem to be closing right above, just right above this line. It's ridiculous. I just found that really interesting. So awesome. Whoa. All of a sudden there's a lot of people watching. That's pretty cool. I'm suspicious of all of them though. We had like a good 100 something, that seemed legit. Now it says we have 495, 514. Does seem a little sus. Viewer sus. Well, if all of you 500 and whatever here are real people, welcome. Please hit that like button. That's super helpful for us. Only have 50 likes and 500 viewing. Then tells me that people are being a little selfish with their thumbs here. I'm just kidding. But please hit the like button and subscribe if you're new here. I don't know what else to do. Thanks for joining us. I'm going to throw the Discord link into the chat. We can't put the Discord link in the video description because we have lots of issues then. But Discord links in the chat. Make sure you get in there. We've been having a lot of issues with people being able to find our streams lately, and the best way to find them is through the Discord. So make sure you're in there. Lots of free educational resources, 24/7 live stream in there, full of great stuff. So it's worth your time. Definitely join the fan. Hop in here. Let's see what else. The last thing I wanted to talk about today, and then we can get into whatever, is futures. CME. CME. We were talking about this a while ago, and this is just another example. CME not at all telling the same story as Bitcoin. That's really strange. Maybe I just had an incorrect assumption in the beginning that CME would likely mirror Bitcoin, at least in indicators and signals and edges that we're looking for. Does not seem like that was the truth. Trevor Thigh, what's up, brother? Welcome to the fam. It's good to have you. CME, not only has it been showing us kind of different signals, but we have a totally just different chart right now. On the 8th, on Friday the 8th, closed into Monday the 11th. It was Monday. That Columbus, it doesn't matter. Gapped up over our descending trend line. That gap is still slightly open from 11,205 to 11,225. The $20 gap, almost nothing. Below, we do have the 9,665 to 9,850 gap as well. But what's interesting is, and what really catches my eye, is this gap up is not only over this important trend, but now these candles, these don't look like a diamond at all. You know, we just looked at, let me pull up the daily here. We just looked at this. This is a spot or Coinbase. This could be, you know, this is like a lot more diamond looking, right? As opposed to other futures, which is not at all, not even a little bit. This looks nothing like a diamond on the futures. It is a series of lower highs and lower lows. And I'll be honest, I'm digging it. I like futures chart a lot better than Coinbase right now, especially after coming down to fill. Wow, it says it's filled even more. Weird. Either way, let me get rid of this part. Okay. What we see on futures, though, looks like gap, and then and say this is a descending channel. We could say that this is a descending wedge. We could say it's a bull flag. There's all kinds of things we could call this. I think it's unlikely that we actually have the pattern yet. But this is looking way better than Bitcoin, man. Way better. There's no bearish divergence on our highs. Wait, is there? Might be a little bit between these two highs on the 4 hour. But really, price not moving, not really moving anywhere, just doing this descending channel kind of action. And if there is a pattern that plays out in Bitcoin that I would dependably look at, it is absolutely these ascending or descending channels. These things, maybe the only consistent player in the space. See if I can find examples. I point these out a lot, but you never know. There's always new people here. For example, let's say right here. This is an ascending channel, breaks down. Happens so consistently. This also is, but not really valid. We didn't see too much of a price response to that. Right here is one of everyone's favorites. And then, so those are the ascending channels. We see they almost always break down. It's hard to find examples that are contrary to this. But descending channels, if we look left, there are countless examples where they break up. It just seems to be Bitcoin's favorite pattern, to be honest. Right here, there's some arguable ones. But what I like is that futures is really showing this descending channel, whereas spot is really not showing as much. Spot is way less clear, but this is beautiful. Never thought I would be a fan of CME. This is beautiful. Like, I guess the channel doesn't work super well yet. Paint a happy little channel right. There we go. Future is way more clear. Couldn't tell you why. I'm not a fan of CME really or anything, but charts are charts, man, and this is, you know, there's always some value looking at even CME or other exchanges. I'm liking that. CME looking very bullish, I think, especially if this continues. The longer it continues in this wedge or channel, kind of grinding down slowly, the better. I think the longer it does it, the stronger the move up potentially could be. Certainly not a bearish pattern. That's basically the bottom line on that one. 12 minutes, look at that. 12 minutes on the hourly, and this candle has already sucked up the bottom and is looking to close again. It's ridiculous, man. I really learned something valuable. Boom, there it is. Like, I've learned something really valuable just from this diamond thing that we've been doing lately. I've never done this. I've never really put trend lines on the daily. I always thought that lower time frames would be more accurate. It does not seem that way. Man, there's a lot of people. A lot of people joining, I suppose. Hello, all 1,000 people. 74 likes. I think if we have 1,000, we can have a lot more than 74 likes, right? Right? 1,000 real people who are here. Not doing a lot of chatting, those 1,000 people. Not gonna comment on it. So yeah, this is cool. This is really cool. I guess the thought process for me is, if I go back, especially like if I go back to the 5 minute and I place this high on the wick, not valuable anymore. Like I place this high on the wick here, and then on the low wick here. Like in my mind, it's like now it's more exact. It's not just the price point data, but it's also a more accurate or defined time point. I don't know, you're gonna time stamp. I don't know. It's more accurate to time. And so I figured that would make more sense, and that's just what I've always done. Just always done it that way. And now looking at this freaking, looking at this thing play out so cleanly to these, I want to call it sloppy, but it's not sloppy. It's still exact. These are still exactly on the price points. But it feels sloppy. It just feels like lazy. It's like, that just didn't do any work. Put those two lines there. It's incredible how well they're respecting it. Like these consecutive hourly candle closes just right above it blow my mind. Especially this one with that wick. Yeah, so anyway, stop rambling about that, but it's awesome to have everybody here. All 923 of You very real people is a joy. Joy and welcome. If you're new here, welcome. We're live here every single day. We took off yesterday because we were having issues. It just kills me to take off. We're supposed to take today off too, but I just couldn't do it. Like, I have to get back. I have to get back to my boys. I have to hit the charts. I have to get on it. Where was I going with that? Yeah, so if you're new, make sure that you're subscribed, because we're live every day. Gonna drop that Discord link one more time into the chat. There it is. So make sure, if you're new here, to be in the Discord. Our streams can be very hard to find sometimes for question mark reasons. But if you're in the Discord, you'll never miss one. Crypto Johnny, what's up, man? Thanks for the follow. Yusef Engear, good to have you, fam. Welcome. I'm missing Trevor. I miss Trevor. Sorry, Trevor. Welcome as well. Make sure you guys are in that Discord. Spamming old links. Make sure you're in the Discord. That way you always get a notification when we go live and you never have to miss us. Ever. Also, let's see. There is a link in the video description to a public post on Patreon. Highly recommend anyone who's new here today to check that out. Gives you a little taste of what the Patreon offers. And what that is exclusive technical analysis, educational content, trade setups. Patrons also have the opportunity to set up one-on-one sessions. Speaking of which, tomorrow is our next one-on-one session. So all the 80-ish current patrons who haven't signed up yet and want to, make sure you get a hold of me. Certainly had a few of you guys reach out, but I figure probably some others waiting. Weekly one-on-one sessions, crypto trading. Doesn't even have to be trading. Be crypto just related. You want to talk about crypto? I want to talk about crypto too. I think it's just a really great way to get to know you guys and really make sure you get all those questions answered that might not be able to find elsewhere. But yeah, check out the Patreon. Check out that description, or the link in the description. It'll give you a good idea of pretty much what patrons get daily. All right, we did that. Filled everything. Made sure to ask people to like and subscribe, join the Discord. I think we're good. Good there. Awesome. Yeah, let's get into some other coins. We're going to look at some charts. Do some TA while the corn is being corny. Really just bouncing on this daily line. It's blowing my mind. I can't believe I have been doing it differently my whole career. Just to, like, today have this epiphany. That's just an example. You're never done learning. Never done learning. And if you are, then I don't know. You're probably getting worse at it. My scanner. Say that too much is popping today. That's all right. Sure, we'll be able to find some spice. So, oh, that AMPL looks like it moved. I know that overshot my target. Oof. Savaged. Overshot my target. Hey, but if there was no stop on that trade, sitting pretty now. Not one of my biggest wins there. That is all right. Thieves might be doing something. Let's look at. Ren. We'll look at XLM. Waves looking to have pulled back hard to our trend line here instead of, this is really old tea. Pulled back hard to our trend line, and what are you doing now? Do you have any signs that you might want to test higher? Okay, a little daily bullish divergence. Daily on the MACD. Not on RSI, not too much there. Approaching this low trend that seemed to be in play, the previous high. Likely to find resistance here, and if not, still looking at some pretty solid resistance. This is the Bitcoin pair at 34,000.
OMJAAA Tarplisa. Pate Popper Patreon is called Party Popper Party Popper Party Popper Party Popper Party Popper.
Thank you, job for the 5, brother. Yes, patron is cool. Very cute. I wasn't sure if you wanted me to look at a chart or if you're just saying, oh my jaw, like I say every day. Do that every day when you're not around. Like, where, oh my jaw, where is he? Let me know, I'll look at whatever for you, brother. Like the same bullish divergence on the dollar pair. Problem is it's also approaching pretty significant resistance at $3.63. It's gonna be a rough call. Waves not giving me much of an edge here, buddy. No divergence on the highs yet. That's good news. That's good news, making the $3.63 resistance a likely, probable target. Man, these charts are tricky today. Good chart. All right, there we go. All 1,000 people have left. Thank goodness. Now we have 152. That's good. 152 is a good number. 1,000. The 1,000 silent people joined. I'm avoiding saying what I really think. No need. Doesn't matter. It's over now. Everything's good. The Ren something. No, I didn't quite meet our measured move target. My RSI. See if we have any bad divergence. No, we don't. That's good. Actually, arguably some bullish divergence on these lows here from March 15th until September 23rd. You see RSI swing much lower and MACD swing much lower here than previously at 2.6 cents. Oh, that is spicy. Spicy coin. Looks like just now today, potentially looking to find support on the 50-day moving average. I don't know why it's yellow. This is dark. Ren looking solid. Looking rather solid. I like that. Let's see what its target is for today. Target for Ren. Bulls are looking to close the daily above 36 cents for the bullish engulfing. I'm not sure if it'll get it or not. It would fit the pattern though. We see green candle, non-bullish engulf red, second red, bullish engulf green, non-engulfed red, second red. That would fit the pattern. Maybe the 4-hour has something for us to keep. 4-hour bullish divergence on these lows, very nice. Very nice. Coin's looking spicy. That's a spicy coin. On MACD, RSI not in agreement. Just fine, but the 4-hour 50 MA. I gotta turn this yellow or I'll never know what it is. There we go. I just retook it. Bit of gusto here. Not far from its target. Ren, definitely one to watch today, man. I would keep an eye on Ren. That 4-hour bearish divergence on the highs always gives away these tops, I swear. Of course, that's in hindsight makes it duh. But you can see that in real time too. 4-hour bearish divergence on highs, very powerful signal. Dang, Ren at 35 cents, man. That previous high, 60 cents. That is quite a trip. That's a 2x almost. Need a measured move for this cat. Measured move, pretty much still the same. Still the same targets we were looking for. We're gonna move down ever so slightly. It doesn't move at all. Nice. Alright. This needs an alert. I'm getting so many spam calls. And spam texts, that's the new super annoyance in 2020, man. Super annoying. It's not enough just to call me constantly. You gotta send me texts too. Oh, 2020. Longest decade of my life. Alright, let me throw Bitcoin back up here. Dang, look at how, this Bollinger Band, look at that respect. Look at that Bollinger Band respect right there on that hourly that closed 3 minutes ago. Touch to the bottom, moves back up, engulfs the previous candle. Like, this range is nutty. This is the nuttiest. Something big. I just can't believe it hasn't happened yet. Something big is going to happen soon. I don't know what it is. Wish I did. If I were to guess, if I had to guess, I would say, if you've been following along, you've been here the last few weeks, we've been going over. Oh, there we go. We've been going over where our edge is in the long term. And so if I had to choose, I would go with the edge, which is bullish. And we have macro time frame signals saying up. Doesn't mean that it has to break up here though. This means eventually, in a longer time frame, there's an edge on it. But that's where I would guess. OMGs. Really has not done much. Stinks. Not a huge fan of closing below our support. And closed below 328 yesterday. Likely we are seeing 328 act as resistance now. Not the end of the world. Seeing some 4-hour bullish divergence on RSI. We're seeing RSI lows come up while our price was coming down. Same on MACD, same setup. This coin just keeps printing it. I wish I knew when this was going to reverse, because it has been giving us these signals. Same signals over and over and over again. Really starting from like the weekly down to the daily, down to like 4-hour. Waiting for this to play out. When it plays out, it's going to be pretty epic, I have a feeling. With that close under support, likely do want to start looking at this a little different. Not as if it hasn't closed under support before. It did right back here in October 7th and 8th. 7th, it's happened before, but whenever it happens, you have to kind of step back and take a look. So we're looking for an inverse head and shoulders pattern. on the macro here. That's what we're looking for. We've got the Tezos, the trace Tezos. Got it. 1, 2, 3. We have all kinds of divergence, but we don't have a break of the neckline. That's what we need. What OMG needs. So, see it? Neckline. We have not gotten that yet. With this swing on the 7th down to $3, do not want to see $3 break. $3 breaking could invalidate this inverse head and shoulders. Could. I would say it's probable even that this inverse head and shoulders is invalidated if $3 is broken. Probable. You can see that pattern. What's happened in price action so far doesn't invalidate it, though it doesn't fit what we might think of the textbook inverse head and shoulders looks like. It's still not invalidated. But if this breaks and we have a lower low here, it starts to get iffy. You see a break of 3, I mean, immediately I'm gonna look at 250. Like immediately. I think the edge though is still not on it breaking. We just keep seeing this divergence build and build and build, and we see it on such long time frames. You know, we have it on the daily. Have it again. We have it. We've just been doing it over and over again, man. It's making me feel crazy. Just keeps making these. The weekly has been setting up for it forever. With a lower RSI, with a higher high in price. MACD didn't pick up on it. No, even here, even this MACD is starting to pick it up too. So we have a lower low on the MACD now. Let's see, where would price have to go? Some absurd value, March 30th. So it would have to break the low of March 30th. I've been saying this for like, I feel ever now, but it's still valid. Is because the swing low on our indicator is already lower here in the current price than it was back here in March at a much lower price. We're gonna get divergence. Gonna get this weekly bullish divergence. It's going to play out as long as price doesn't go under 49 cents. You can see this swing low on MACD was not very deep, and this second candle already on the weekly is deeper. So there's bullish divergence there. It's just when does it play out? Don't know, but the answer is it will play out before 50 cents. Just the probability is so high. It'd be crazy to bet against that. One day, 3 hours for this weekly. So far, there's no new low in this weekly, so it's really nothing has changed. Really nothing. No difference, unfortunately. Would not surprise me to see OMG's weekly close higher than it is right now. So would not surprise me to see it close above 331 to 342. That's likely where I would be looking for this weekly. A weekly close down here, like under 328 support, not going to be a great sign. However, I think that the edge is against that happening. So OMG, I wish as soon as this does something, man, I'm going to be ecstatic just so I can say something new. It has all the elements, has all the ingredients to our recipe. We're just waiting for it to finish baking. Not done baking yet. Is what it is. Yeah. I don't want to say I'm getting sick of looking at it, but like almost, because it just keeps doing. It's like every time I look at it, I feel like I'm going crazy as I'm repeating almost word for word what I've been saying through all of this the last like 2 months. I guess that's just like 1 month. Month and a half. Because there's just nothing new. It just keeps ranging and printing new divergence, new bullish divergence, and the lows so far keep coming up. That's why I think the edge is with the bulls here still, because we still just see these lows coming up, and that's why that $3 value is important to me. Though, if 3 does break, we might have something spicy here. Test it out. Yeah, I mean, there's our two. I honestly see that as like 2 possibilities. I guess we could have a 3rd possibility. I think this is less like. Could have some deep harmonic play out back to this low trend line. I don't think that that's likely. That still would keep the weekly intact. We could have like some kind of gnarly-ish thing where the low's a little higher, but likely still pretty close to 250. It just looks to be setting up something bullish. Oh man, I just can't wait for that day. I'm so sick of it, just like doing this and that. But don't listen to me. Obviously I'll look at it every day, I don't care. I just want something to happen with it. That's it. Alright. What else going on? Moving back to the top of the band. Incoming 11,372. Put this box right here just to be a little patronizing. Antagonize Bitcoin into doing something. I'm in too deep, man. Alright, let's see who's here. Of course, Jaws here. And Dalenson, Wolfpack. My bro, Sean Gardner's here. Starting his boxing career. Eat all your fish. What's up, my man? Algo's starting to move. I could take a look at Algo. JSR Dan. And at Tezos. And look at Tezos. I'll load up some of these charts. And it is cold and dry. Algo does not look like it's moved anywhere. Reminds me of OMG. I haven't even looked at the chart. Looks like. Let me go through the chat a little bit more. Oh, hey, Jizz Woolen. What's up, man? Welcome. 1 USD. You can probably look at that as well. Let me get through these names. What's up, Crypto Carnage? Good to see you, brother. Millie Mundarion. I don't know what you said, but welcome. Jan Morganar, you know exactly what I'm talking about. My phone, thank God we don't have like limited texts anymore, because I'd be broke. I think we don't get charged on get spam calls too. I'd be broke. Sergio, what's up, my man? Oh, Demetrios is back. What's up, Demetrios? Tails. Sharknado, there he is. That's what I was looking for. Dwan Moonin. CLTC. You can CLTC. I already have this book. Adriano, what's up, man? Emmett Wilson, there he is. Dane Murray, what's up, man? Matthew Miller. Coinstant, Ivan Coyle Duff. David B. Alright, cool, that's most of them. Pot. Kev, Justin Moon. Book Chewy, there he is. Alright, I think I got most people. If I missed you, feel free to yell at me. It wasn't intentional. Alright. Let's see, have my alerts set. You know what, let's even just make these a little more obnoxious. Let's make these alerts go off if like it goes at all outside of these Bollinger. Good idea. Test of obnoxiousness. Say to 50, we'll give it an 8-cent leeway. Once. Seven. Give it 327. 50 cents on each side. Sounds fair. All right, and we'll be back, Bitcoin. You have a good time in that little box you made, buddy. We'll be back. Algo. Just on the thing. Algo. Algo double bottom. 26 cents. Following this supply line like a mother, man. Following. Fortunately, a little bearish divergence on the highs on the daily for Algo. That is not ideal. Ideal after coming off bullish divergence to the low. Kind of looks like I feel like all of a sudden now there's harmonics everywhere too. These all look really similar. Basically, anytime you have two peaks, right? Here's a little mini lesson. Anytime you have two peaks, a high and it has to be a lower high, and you see a retrace in the middle, you basically have a harmonic. As long as the X point being like the first place the first dot you placed, which is right here where I placed it, the lowest point, as long as that isn't exceeded, you have some kind of harmonic. If it is exceeded, you could have a harmonic, but it gets a little more. There's your 10-second lesson on harmonics. Still haven't seen that 50 cents. It's really strange. Weird. Been waiting for the test of 50 cents forever on this. Let's see if we have a new target now. 5. $38.8 number stands out to me. You know, it might be useful here. Moving averages. Let's see. Have anything in store? Off the 200. All right. All right. Okay. Off the 200. Like that bearish divergence though. Nice. Well, it has that going for it. That I can say. The 100 is overlapping currently with our 236 retrace of the total move and our 388 repeating, of course, resistance. I'm gonna put the likelihood on this is still up, but it just doesn't look it yet. I don't know if it's ready. I don't know if it's ready yet. But holding the 200, great sign. I think there's a pretty easy play here. Really don't want to see these lows break. If you do see 27 cents break, dang well 26.12 cents better hold, or else all bets are off. I mean, you're just in no man's land then. Certainly there's some more support underneath, but it looks like at least a 30% drop maybe. Weird. I'm liking the close and the open above the 200 daily. I think that the 38 cent area, it's a matter of time till it gets there. Watch the supply line, really easy to draw. Just take the wick to the wick slash area where it bounced right before it rallied. Watch that supply line, that's going to be your guide. The 200 is just snaking up next to it. This is your guide. This is all that matters. Really wouldn't like to see it close below that 200. I think though it's likely, maybe not today's candle, but I think the edge is on testing at least this 38 cent 100 daily moving average again before maybe you sell off, maybe you don't. It'd look very unlikely to me to see this be that. You know what I mean? That doesn't look correct. Could see this. Could see this kind of thing. So far. Interesting coin. Gonna move on. Watch that 200 daily. Watch that to see if it bullish engulf closes today. That would be very nice for it. 4 hour looks good. The daily does not look good yet. The 4 hour looks solid, so Tezos. Driving with that 4 hour bullish divergence. RSI and MACD both on deck. They get sold off back underneath our 222 support, which is now resistance. As evidenced, we can even see it on the 4 hour here, how perfecto this was. 1, 2, 3 wicks for rejecting. Not a very strong rejection though. Not tested the 50 since falling below it. That's a good sign. Nothing has changed for me. Nothing has changed for me in Tezos. My target is the same. 26 or 260 to $3. It's still my target. If this ascending low trend line breaks, and reassess. Likely to find support though at 176 if it does. But at this point it really, you know, at worst, something like that. I'm sticking with it. My views on Tezos since right here have not changed. Man, this is like coming up on a month of nothing too. Dude, this is just what we're seeing in alts right now. You're seeing this everywhere. It's what should be like a reversal. Looks like a reversal pattern. Looks like momentum has relaxed. They're all just waiting to play out. Oh yeah, I'm chilly, dude. It's freezing in my Alright, so Litecoins, the one, the chosen one, the Litecoin. Certainly looking for divergence here. And we got it on the daily. This is LTC BTC. Do have it on the daily. I don't believe, yeah, this quick low, and we have a support. We have a support, and then we also have this September low wick. Assume that's some kind of support, I don't know. Really close together. You're like 0, 0, 0, 0, 30 apart. Essentially, might be a potential buy zone. And if we see lower than that, I mean, next stop is at 003 for a 25% loss. 25% loss of value from where it is now. Pretty cut and dry here. Either Litecoin reverses here and rallies, breaks through this descending trend, or it just falls, it just goes back into price discovery to 003. That's pretty much all there is. You can even see on this like macro, super macro, zoomed out, this is almost like 2 years of building. You can see that these highs and lows on MACD just keep coming down. It's like 2 years. Of course you do have to ignore these two spots, that's okay. Because the gist is there, man. This is just a huge squeeze. Just setting up. I'm looking for, on the daily, I'm looking for either a lower swing in RSI or a lower swing in price that bounces off of this kind of sloppy RSI trend line I played. Those are my two things I'm looking for. There's not going to be much else there. What's up, Samuel Mena? What's up, man? Welcome. Welcome to the fam. Stay a while and listen. Whatever Elder Kane says, I don't remember. Stay a while and listen. I feel like that sounds dickish. I'm not gonna say that. I'm not an old man in Diablo. This is a tough call. I've been watching this. This isn't the first time I've looked at this, and even in today, I was looking at this earlier. It's either ready to bounce or it's ready to lose 25%. Not know which. Maybe USD pair will help us out here. We did have that nasty call. Nasty call. Up to 50, but we saw the 100. This is right as Bitcoin also lost some of its JoJo before it started selling off. Broke and closed over the 200 daily moving average. $50 was our target. Blew right up to it. Now it fell back down. Let's see. Reversal here is possible. And if we do get it, we don't have this yet, but if we do get it, we can have a divergence on our RSI daily. We don't have it yet because we don't see a reversal. I would like to see Litecoin close above the 200 daily again, which may suggest it is now support. And in that case, a retest of the 100 is likely very close behind. This coin is like, it just is gonna run eventually. It's just taking its sweet time. Dude, this whole 2000, this whole thing is just one giant bull flag. So there it is. Just one massive bull flag. Look at this. You can't even look at this and not see a bull. Like just the most epic proportion flag I've ever seen. The first touch being back in what, May May 2017, so this is like a 3+ year flag. Just lower highs, higher lows, over and over and over again. Gonna happen eventually. Go ahead, Litecoin, go do it. Alright. Trust me, if anything, our Lurtinko. That's funny. I'll tell you one thing, guys. When Litecoin does move, you'll all know about it. There's not a chance I will let anyone not know about it. These streams. Not a chance. What we're doing here. The comms. Nice. We're not. I am intentionally not saying the issues that we've had the last few days and why we took a day off. I would appreciate it if you don't either. I don't know. I'm just A/B testing everything, so figure. So far, so good. I haven't said it. You guys know what's going on. We're doing good. I'm really happy that we're not having that issue. That would have been such a bummer. Sure, the 1,000 very real viewers that joined us for 11 minutes was exciting, but didn't seem to do anything. Didn't hurt us, so cool. 106 likes, 120 watching. You guys are doing an awesome job again. That's probably the reason we're not having that issue. So thank you very much, everybody who's been remembering and making an effort to hit those likes, because I think it works. And working right now, it seems. My connection might have an issue. That might have something to do. Real quick shill. So if you haven't, please hit that like button. And if you are new here or not, and just not subscribed, please hit the subscribe button. Slap that bell. And then finally, you get the last hint in the treasure map puzzle. Drop the link in the chat. Jump into our Discord. Sometimes it's impossible to find our streams, and the best way to be able to keep up with our daily lives is in the Discord, so make sure you're in there. And last but not least, fun work. Nice. I made a new public Patreon post. Don't know if that's been confusing. This is a new one 2 days ago. Link is in the chat. Check it out. Just a little taste of what patrons basically get every day. Not every day, but that's the kind of level of detail they regularly get, in addition to all the other wonderful perks. So there's my shill. I'm done with it. Algorithm. You get 5 charts for $10 a month. Oh yeah, dude. They've really made the free version. Like, the free version of TradingView is still really great because it's free and TradingView is amazing software. But they have walked back what they offer to the free version, man. I wasn't logged in and I tried to open a chart and dude, it was like ads all over the chart and I kept like accidentally clicking them. I think it was like on my phone and I opened it and it's not logged in. It was super annoying. Ugh. I have the most expensive. I have the super expensive TradingView. And I don't know if it's unlimited chart. Put it this way. I haven't found out how many there are. I think it said 400 somewhere. Maybe it was 400 alerts though. I think it was 400 alerts. I don't know how many charts I can have. A lot. And you guys have seen me make a ton of charts. Like, let's just scroll through these. Oh wow, yeah. So, needless to say, I'm not sure if it's unlimited, but that's, I'm still making them pretty often. Haven't run into a limit yet. I have lots. I definitely have a few hundred. Some I never open. Nice. It's going awesome, guys. I feel so much better. Thursday was really stressful because of the issues. have them. It's awesome. Thank you, internet gods, during our parade. I guess normally we look at stocks, but stocks are closed, so there's really not that much looking at them. Yeah. Corn is being generous. And we are so range bound. This is ridiculous. Look at that. It just keeps getting smaller and smaller too as these candles stay in this range. It's now 0.37. Trading range is 0.37. Exciting. Super exciting. I'll tell you what, it will be. It will be super exciting when this breaks out, man. This is gonna go ballistic. Ballistic. There's no way that this just like chill style breaks out, like then like floats up. No, this is gonna have to break. This is such a tight range. If you look, you like scroll it back, almost all this price action has been in this range. So this is absolutely building future support or future resistance, depending on which direction it breaks out. Certainly building something here. Building either a wall or a floor. It's doing one or the other. All this price range. Boom. All of that. The majority of these candles is inside this 0.3% box. Gonna get something. We might have to wait till tomorrow. Tomorrow is Sunday, the typically spicier day. Beatbox hour. Beats in the mix. Bedrock. Bedrock. Thank you for LTC. Yeah, in transparency, I did pick up, and if you guys have always known, LTC is like my second largest position next to BTC. And even then it's, I don't even know what percent now actually. Percent is it? 8.4% of my portfolio now. So yeah, Bitcoin 64%, Litecoin 8.4%. So that gives you an idea. But I did add to my bag recently on LTC. Might not be the play for you, the play for me, because this is as cheap as I've ever. I obviously do everything in BTC pair, and this is like the cheapest I've seen it in BTC pair since mid 2017. So for me, when I already have a lot, kind of like averaging down on my bags, I haven't bought any. I didn't buy any Litecoin. I sold a little bit. Sold a little bit on this rally, not as much as I wish I had. I sold a lot right here. Sold a little bit here, and I have not rebought any of it. And I just this week right here added back in my bag. Not recommending it. I'm fine with it going down to 0.003, which I think is the logical next step if we see a breakdown here. I'll probably get more then. I really do. But no, this is like I've already been holding most of this Litecoin for how long now? Better part of 2 years. So me adding to my bag here, I don't care. Like I could wait another 2 years. That's why I caution / say maybe it's not the move for you, because you might not be you might not have that patience or be in the same position as me. But I like to be transparent when I make bigger moves. For me, it was a big move. Maybe not for some. This is my biggest trade of this year for sure. Probably end of my biggest BTC pair. Put it that way. Of this year and probably last year. For me, it was a big one. In divergence, it's just either gonna hold here or not, man. Who knows? Spicy chat. I really like looking actually at some of these charts without wicks. It's way easier to see. Simple. Bitcoin Shamil. Man, I want to be streaming when this breaks. It's gonna have to break soon. Like it can't even possibly wait till tomorrow's close. Like there's no way. And it's just my opinion, but there's no way that price stays in this box that much longer. By the time that happens, where will these bands be? Here maybe. Something silly. Oh, you know what? Totally forgot. So we were looking at the 4 hour, right? Oh no, it was the 1 hour. So here's something that's interesting that I totally forgot about. We did talk about it in this episode. But we had the 5,200 bearish cross in the 1 hour as we started about 2 hours ago. And price has not moved. That's probably a good sign. That's probably a sign that at least this 1 hour signal may not play out. I guess this is the first candle, the first hourly where we tested the 50. But it just doesn't seem, it's really not doing anything. Does not seem that it is having a bearish influence like we may expect. I'm gonna get rid of these wicks. I kind of like it without wicks. This makes my eyes feel better. All right. A divergence. Not much. Jeez. But the thing is that with that bearish cross, the death cross here on the hourly, we would expect, if it were playing out, to see that have an influence on price. But we're not. Not moving. So, suggestive to me Maybe we pump through the cross. Maybe. Dot shows a little divergence here in the hour. That is not helpful. If this hourly in 14 minutes here closes above the middle Bollinger Band, the 20 moving average on the hour, which is at 11,350, currently priced 11,355. So basically the same price. If it closes above, I'm gonna put the edge on. We break through that cross. Maybe in the next candle, next hourly. This very, very low spice. Fine. I gotta go to the bathroom quick. I'm gonna throw up the smoke screen. Smoke them if you got them. Take 5. But keep the stream open. Don't go anywhere. Still early. Don't go anywhere. I'm gonna throw that smoke screen up. Hologram. Activate. Look at some more altcoins when I get back from the bathroom. In the meantime, don't forget to like and subscribe. Hop on that Discord. It's a good time to check out Patreon if you have a minute. Check it out. A lot of great stuff there. Ah, good. Bitcoin, right where I left you. Unicorn. Oh, I gotta get rid of... I always forget to get rid of that smoke screen. My hologram. My hologram. People didn't listen. I said, don't go anywhere. And they went somewhere. All good. Thank you guys for sticking around. Take a look here, make sure everything's still fine with the stream. You always have to check when, like, a bunch of people live at the same time. That's when we get issues. And we're still good. Alright. Alright. Hey, you. Okay. 7 minutes till close. Bearish cross on the hourly, not appearing to be too impactful at the moment. Back above the 20. I have an idea though. We're gonna look through. I'm gonna take you through my everyday. This is what I do every morning. This is what I recommend everyone does every morning. So start out on whatever time frame you want. Sometimes I start on the 5 minute, not really that commonly. Okay, we see the 5 minutes starting to expand. 2 minutes, hopefully it closes above the middle band there. And then you just zoom out while you zoom out though, you pay attention to your indicators. And if you do this long enough, eventually it's just second nature. You don't really have to like stare at them. And look, see what's there. Don't try to like find what's there. Just look and see what's there. Like right here, the 50, this is on the 15 minute, but the 50 and 100 MAs are overlapping, literally overlapping. They are few cents apart. This current candle just went down, touched them, and wicked off. Not a bad sign. That's right. It was right below the middle Bollinger Band for the 15 minute. The 15 minute signaling maybe some upside. Zooming out to the 30, similar situation. The 100, looking likely that's that the 50 on the hourly. Yep. Likely to provide resistance. We do see that. Stokes are right in the middle. A strange, unfamiliar place for this stotch to be. Not a fan of being in the middle. It's kind of what it was designed not to do. And we're seeing it in the middle, ranging all the way up to the hourly. Looking. 2 hour close in 5 minutes. Looks like it's going to close above the middle band. Even on the 2 hour. Look at this. This catches my eye, man. You do not see that often. That is not common. Stotch is almost, I would say, literally designed not to hang out in the middle. Designed to oscillate from the top to the bottom. See it all the way out to the 2 hour hanging out on the bottom. We also see the 100 moving average on the 2 hours, the top of the Bollinger Band, to the 50 MA 2 hour, or the 100 1 hour, top of the Bollinger Band. Another area to likely provide resistance, but possibly an attractive area for market makers. Why is that? Well, because we have a lot of overlapping moving averages and price points in that range. That suggests to me that it's likely to touch there. Price tends to seek liquidity, and this stotch is really throwing me through. Never looks that way. Okay, good. In the 3 hour, we don't see that crazy stotch anymore. Do see middle Bollinger Band right in our little resistance zone. We might move that up even a little more to 14. Capture that 50 moving average. Let's keep moving out. Yep. A break up through this zone here in the next, I would say, could be before close, could be in the first or second candle tomorrow, but a break up there would be a pretty bullish sign as this 50 is looking to cross bearish with the 20. It's hard to ignore this divergence here with these lows on MACD and on the and on RSI, obviously. We're gonna keep going through. I do this every single day. I think everyone should do this. Hey, 5 hour just touched the middle band. So 5 hour not really as bullish looking. Stock shows divergence. MACD shows divergence. RSI not showing the same divergence. 5 hour looking a little more bearish. Possibly has not tested its 50. So that may be support zone underneath. Let's box here. This one blue because it's neutral. And we're going to start looking for a support zone. Looks like we have it, or at least we have the first clue of it. So now we go out to the 6 hour. Super interesting. Possibly divergence on the stock if we're only looking at closes. RSI, ooh, this is a little spicy though. RSI coming extremely close to the 50 line. The 50 line is a very powerful spot. When below it, if the 50 on RSI acts as resistance, this is also true of almost any oscillator like MACD. You have the signal line and the leading line on. Rejections from the 50 when you're below, or finding support on the 50, and the equivalent would be 0, I guess, on MACD, can be extremely powerful signals. A touch here, and then pretty much any upward movement could be very spicy very quickly. Let's keep going through. Moving on to the 7 hour. 7 hour resting perfect. This is what I was hoping for. Resting on the 50. This is just more confirmation of what we've been talking about with the Bollinger Bands here. Yep. Up. When you do this enough, you start to be able to kind of predict what you're going to see on the next time frames. So we see a little triple-ish top thing here. If RSI closes above this line 51.55, I would put the edge on a break up here. But consolidating at the 50, hugely powerful in the event of a break up. Hugely powerful when below, consolidating at 50 and rejection. Little fun fact for you. 7 hours. Not showing us too much, but it did give us this. That is spicy to know. Move to the 8. Because I'm doing them really slow. Nope. Moving to the 8, we see that the 8 hour touched the middle of the Bollinger Band, sold off. Could be signaling bearish. RSI has moved up as we go up in time frames. Still looking for that divergence though versus October 8th's low. Stoch, you can see Stoch is much clearer here, that divergence on the look. Stoch. I've noticed that Stoch does tend to pick up on them, but I think it erroneously picks up on them enough that it's not my favorite. Stoch showing it. 9 hours, same. Okay, moving to the 10. Oh, they're just so out of play now. Okay. Here we go. I didn't spot this earlier. 10 hour. Set up for a 5200 cross. Bullish cross. At 11. Dang. 1150. That's that important zone we were important price value we were talking about earlier in the episode. Interesting to see a bullish cross showing, teasing, whatever you want to call it there. Ooh, the 10 hour, there it is. There's our potential 50 bounce on the 10 hour. Beautiful. Beautiful. This is gonna get spicy. Luckily, we don't see any clear rejection from the middle Bollinger Band on the 10 hour yet. Excellent. Went on to the 12. Divergence on Stotch. MACD, but not on RSI. Alright, and then usually after 12 hour, I don't keep going. Then I just jump to the daily. I don't go like 13, 14, 15. A little too obnoxious. Daily, we looked at this at the beginning. We have the 5100 looking to cross bearish. And then typically I'd zoom out to like weekly and monthly, but really no point of doing that right now because we did look at those earlier in the episode and there's 0% chance that they have changed at all. So interesting. We have a pretty defined range here now. Pretty defined range. Neutral price action in the white. Likely to see resistance in the red and support in the green. But something tells me it's just gonna pick a direction and go once it breaks this here. I guess what we can safely say is a break of the bottom here or of the top here is as good as it's gonna get for confirmation of which direction this is breaking. If it comes up, back down, not really enough. Comes down and back up, not really enough. Really want to see a break of the top or the bottom of these zones to determine or to predict or attempt to predict where we're going. All right, that was a good study. Let me get these values up here. Let's see them. Here we are. Top of the range 11,403, bottom 11,287, and in the neutral zone 11,372 to 11,328. Riveting. Riveting. Look at these sideways. Holy limo. Doesn't get less interesting than this, does it? Does not. Okay. Button works now. Work. Nice. Now that works. Good afternoon. What's up? I do backflips. Good to see you, brother. And Jerry Macy, our man. Jerry. Sir Jerry. We're just watching the paint dry at this point. I think we've done an extremely thorough episode on Bitcoin price action. More thorough than usual, which is hard to top. Interesting note. Interesting note here is, okay, never mind, 7 days cutoff was here. So the rolling 7-day chart looks like this. It's completely flat, lower high, higher low. Look at with the rolling 30-day. If you are a trader of the corn and you've never done this, I highly recommend every once in a while, especially when you you're not sure what's going on. You're really struggling to find an edge. Highly recommend you take a look at what I call the weekly and monthly rolling weekly and oh. Alright, so this is the rolling monthly here. Rolling monthly looks pretty good. Rolling monthly looks pretty bullish. Rolling weekly, as we just looked at, looks incredibly neutral. And you can always go do the rolling 3-month as well. Also important. 90 days. Last one, I promise, then I'm done doing this. That is the rolling 90 day. Rolling 90 day looking pretty bullish. You have to think, I guess when I interpret these rolling ones, I look at them and I try not to apply any technical analysis. I just try to apply, you know, what direction does it look like. Not using patterns, not using indicators, not using anything. Just if I was someone who didn't know anything and I pulled up an app and the app said, this is the price action for the last 30 days, what would I think? That's how I try to use these. This is the rolling 3-month. This is the rolling. This is like the rolling 1 month. Then here's the rolling week. So we have bullish, bullish, and neutral. Can be an interesting tool when there's less agreement. Like when one is bearish, weekly looks bearish, then the monthly looks bullish. That's usually better info. It's trapped. Probability key. Our new jam. Crazy color, there we go. Trapped in our probability key. Man. I was hoping this would break out while we were live. Bitcoin sus. Remember, Bitcoin always sus. Bitcoin sus. Your homework, guys, is to go out and use the term Bitcoin sus. Homework. Use it everywhere. All over the internet. Then people will start saying it. And then they'll be like, that was from our show. And then lots of people come watch our show. Probably not how that works, but it's worth a shot. Memeable. Bitcoin sus. Just have the bot randomly say that. Bitcoin sus, like once every hour and a half, maybe. Be confused. Alright. Well, unfortunately, this looks like it's going to be hecka boring now. I'm kind of hoping that we would get to see it. But we've thoroughly gone through both the short term and the medium term TA. Nice little 50 bounce on the I'm feeling we're gonna be in this box the end of close here. I would be very surprised if we leave this box before the day closes. Yeah. But you know what? This episode was great. This has been great. I was not happy the last few times we went to stream because we had all those issues. No issues today, and I think I have you guys to thank. Well, I certainly do. Thank you guys so much for keeping that engagement up, getting those likes in, chatting while the stream's going. It's so nice to not have those problems again. I'm so thankful. Yeah. Fortunately, I don't. Anything's gonna happen here, so we're just gonna wrap it up for today. Get back on. If all of a sudden Spice comes out of nowhere, you guys know, I don't care what time it is, I'll get back on. But make sure you're in that Discord. Make sure you're subscribed. And make sure you're at our next episode. We're live every day here. Every single day. Going through the TA. Live. For you guys. I'm gonna have this chart up with our probability cage. Gonna have this up on the Discord. So after the show, feel free to jump on there. Wanna keep an eye on this probability cage. See how it plays out. Get a big move, I'll just hop back on, of course. Yeah, make sure to tune in tomorrow. Be live again. Probably same time, 4 p.m. East. So I love you guys. Thank you for another great episode. Thank you for all the engagement and helping us with that problem. Make sure you're in Discord. Make sure you're subscribed if you're new. Make sure to check out that Patreon post regardless if you're new or not. A little taste. And I will catch you guys next time, tomorrow. Fingers crossed, maybe even tonight, but I doubt it. So, love you all, fam. See you soon. Round out.